Level 1 Noob. At this stage in the game, getting lucky is your go-to strategy. Bluffing is an alien concept, and you are only willing to bet on rounds when you have a decent hand. Except, this doesn't include much risk at all, as the idea of taking chances to get a straight or a flush don't enter your thought process. Noobs take a 7-2 offsuit and pray they get a 3 of a kind or a 2 pair, only for their opponents to be holding a pocket ace. Given their lack of experience in the game, they easily give away the fact that they may have good cards, often going all in straight away, or any attempts to bluff are noticeable very quickly. Overall, noobs lack the game knowledge, bluffing skills, and general reading abilities that pros and advanced players use with ease. Level 2 Intermediate. At this point, intermediate players are fully aware of the hand rankings and strengths of each hand, whether to play or fold, and how to do this, if this be raising or calling. In particular, the main skill that intermediates unlock is the value of their 2 opening cards and how this dictates the rest of the game. They know what hands they should be more inclined to play and those that are not likely to reap rewards. In fact, intermediates understand basic concepts of bluffing and start to recognize patterns in their opponent's play, and whether they are loose, tight, aggressive, or passive, but we'll go over these 4 play types in advanced players. However, intermediates may still overplay weak hands and risk their chips and still don't necessarily understand pot odds, meaning they make bets that are not profitable. Intermediates also have difficulty realizing or recognizing opponents' hand ranges, which means they do not account for the probabilities of their opponents having superior hands based on the cards placed in front of them. Level 3 Advanced. In poker, there are 4 main player types: loose passive, loose aggressive, tight passive, and tight aggressive. Advanced players generally fall into 2 of these categories, being loose aggressive and tight aggressive. Let's take a look at tight aggressive poker players. These players play more limited hands for the pre-flop, however, play them more aggressively in the post-flop. This means they bet raises frequently in the post-flop, applying pressure to their opponents and forcing them to fold or call with weaker hands. As part of this, patience is vital for this gameplay. They wait for the right opportunities to exploit their opponents, but are not afraid to bet when they have a strong hand. Due to their aggressive play, it can be difficult to read. However, this playstyle falls in the lower end of advanced players, as higher level players will pick up that they have limited scope when it comes to the pre-flop and usually only bet on good hands. Now, for the loose aggressive player. This player falls much higher on the advanced rankings, and here's why. These players play a broader range of starting hands pre-flop, even up to a third of all the hands they are dealt. They follow the same aggressive betting patterns and are known for using larger betting sizings, making it hard for opponents to call or raise. Level 4 Pro. At this level, you're playing aggressively, changing up what you do each time, bluffing consistently, and are able to read tells or signs from other opponents. A major point to now consider is calculating the probabilities and odds of each hand and leveraging them to their advantage. This includes looking at the chances of getting certain combinations based on the odds of certain cards showing up in the turn and river, and the risk involved in waiting for this. At this point, pros even choose certain tables that align with their skill set and playstyle based on their personal choice. With such a position, poker no longer becomes a game you play with a couple friends using M&Ms for money. Bankroll management is crucial. As such, they are aware of the importance of managing their funds wisely, avoiding reckless gambles, which means their career remains sustainable. Overall, pros combine the skill and strategy needed to win games with consistency and dedication, involving countless hours of practice to analyze and improve the game style. Level 5 Shark. Sharks are highly experienced players who encompass every attribute of a pro, except their playstyle becomes more cutthroat. The main factor here is that sharks dominate poker tables and look to exploit the mistakes of less experienced players, known as fish. As a result, they choose their tables very carefully in order to make large profits by preying on the noobs or beginners. In fact, sharks have higher levels of confidence, even more so than some pros, and because of this, they show less emotional impact when losing hands and are able to move on very easily, making them very difficult to read. Level 6. Casino Royale. At this point in poker, skill is really thrown out of the window, as the amount of money and risk on the table all come down to reading your opposition and understanding their tells. Of course, in such a situation, when the pot increases to 120 million on the final hand, probabilities of winning a hand such as this come to 1 in 100 million. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to support the channel.